Congratulations on your success in the Invitational event. There may not be points or prizes, but it still helps you look good.
Guten Tag and welcome to Hockenheim, home of the German Grand Prix, for today's practice session. It's a big weekend for a number of our top drivers as they look for success on home soil. We'll be getting underway shortly to see how they get on. Now then, Anthony Davidson, we've had some really strategic races over the past couple of years, thanks to the current three-tyre compound system, and of course the groundwork for all those strategies comes from the free practice sessions like this one. So what do you think of the current tyre regulations?
Well, they've created some, I wouldn't say exciting necessarily, but certainly interesting races. There have been a lot more questions around, like how long can someone stay out on this set, or will they have the pace to catch another car if they suddenly bolted on a set of ultra softs, things like that. When everything comes together, we end up with multiple cars nose to tail on different tyres, all fighting for track position. So on the whole, it's definitely been a positive step, I feel, for the sport.
session so far.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are the captain, Raikkonen and Max Verstappen. Thank you for joining us for free practice today. We'll be back with more Formula One action very shortly.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You had an incredible pace in practice. Would you say that you're pretty comfortable with the car? You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip? Appreciate your time.
shift about 65 litres of water every second, and a lot of that's going to end up on your visor. So with that in mind, make sure you give other cars plenty of room. There's no need to risk the car too much in this session, okay?
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three. The captain, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds. As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are the captain, Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
Amazing performance out there. You must be really happy. You had the fastest time in practice. Will we see similar times in qualifying? How does a car handle in the wet? Do you have any worries going into the race and qualifying? Great! Well, that's everything.
Welcome to Germany for today's qualifying session at the famous Hockenheim Ring. The pit lane lights will turn green in the next minute or two to signify the start of qualifying. Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
Good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are the captain, Hamilton, and Daniel Ricciardo. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. It's 2.8 miles around the Hockenheim ring then, and some fairly wet conditions to overcome on this 17-corner circuit. The long, curved back straight leads into a tight hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity. But expect to see the cars running wide, as braking offline could prove very difficult indeed. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about the captain. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition, but Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience, but some of these guys in Formula One have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. The captain lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, and Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Sainz, Perez, and Kevin Magnussen. Ocon, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, and Ericsson, Grosjean, Hartley, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Pierre Gasly. Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
This is our engine support. That's a strong start. Well done. fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. The energy store is approaching its wear limit. We will be forced to retire if we're not careful. Make sure to discharge your battery properly. Leading our teammate by 13.1 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
And now it's time to wind down and celebrate after that fantastic Grand Prix. Here they come, your top three, out onto the podium. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. The captain increases their championship lead. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Kevin Magnussen. That was a commanding performance today, very impressive indeed.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Amazing performance out there. You must be really happy. It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? Another podium. You must be getting used to it up there. How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today? That was a close finish. How are things between the two of you? Appreciate your time.
Fantastic podium. Well done. Keep pushing like this for the rest of the season.
Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.